My name is Foster Giesmann, and in this video I would like to whet your appetites on elliptical turning. Now this video will show you some elliptical pieces and how they are done. Now in 1932 I started out in the glass mold making trade and served a 4-year apprenticeship. And it was here that I learned oval turning, as we called it. So this gives me an advantage that some of you don't have. And we used to turn cast iron molds on a large lathe, on a large elliptical faceplate, or we called it an oval faceplate. And we would turn the molds in sets of 20 or 24 molds on the set. And they all had to be the same, and the parts all had to be interchangeable. So you see that you could do close work. Now here you see a fairly large bowl. This is a black walnut piece. Around the bottom here you see a couple of beads and a couple more up here. Here we've got a kind of a basket weave pattern. In this area we have flutes running up and down. Now around the top, as you see, it's fully scalloped all the way around. The inside of the bowl has a very nice grain pattern, and so it's very pretty. Now we move over to this piece, and what I want to show you here, this is the biggest piece approximately that I could do on my lathe. It's about 15 by 11. This is a piece of maple burl, as you see the inside of it. It's very nice. Now the outside around here, you notice, has no ornamental turning on it. Now, the reason I want to show you this is that you can do beautiful pieces of elliptical work without having an indexing device for elliptical work, or without putting on the ornamental part. Now the next piece here you see is a piece out of Babinga. We have two nice patterns here on the outside, and we have a kind of a foot on it, and it's got scallops all around it. And if you notice, the inside of that foot area is all hollowed out in order to lighten out the piece itself. Now looking at the top of it, we have a nice fancy knob in the center. Here we've got 72 miters around it. Down here then, we have 72 small flutes. Now the inside of this lid is all turned, as you see, in order to lighten out the lid and kind of equalize the stock around. This next piece is a piece of cherry. Now it's a little different. It has feet on it, as you see, and it kind of sets it off. We have flutes running up and down here, small flutes. Here we have a basket weave pattern, but it's altogether different than any of the others. On the lid we have flutes all the way around here that are perfectly flat. You see a couple nice beads here. And on this raised portion, around here we have a pattern that's like barley corn, but it's not sharp, it's more or less flat. Now this piece is a piece of eucalyptus burl, which is kind of hard to find. Here we've got feet on it and a nice pattern around here. The lid again has flutes on it, but these flutes are on a radius in this direction. And around the top of it here, we have what we call true barley corn. Now the inside of it, the grain is very pretty. And you notice the inside of the lid is turned also. Most all the lids that I make, I turn the insides out also. Now this next piece is a piece of babinga. And we've got 3 other elliptical pieces here on the table. So we'll let you look at those. Now this little piece here standing, this little vase-like piece, is a round piece, and it was the very, very first piece of ornamental work that I ever made. And then you see alongside of that, there's a small bow. And it was the second piece that I ever made.
Sacramento artist is managing to keep a rare form of wood carving alive.
In fact, his work is known around the world since he's one of the very few who know how to do it. Chris Wright's joining us a little bit early tonight to tell us more about this beautiful stuff.
Yeah, beautiful art form and a grand name. It's called elliptical turning, and basically, as you're about to see, it's oval woodwork.
Here we've got a kind of a basket weave pattern. Now this piece here is a piece of maple burl. Now the knob on this is quite intricate.
Hours and hours of hard work go into each piece of the oval woodwork Foster Giesmann creates.
Well, it's very unique, and there's very few that do it.
At the age of 81, Giesmann is still going strong, turning out anywhere between 20 and 30 pieces of work a year.
Oh, I get a big charge out of it.
Giesmann lives in the Sacramento area, and since not many people in the entire world can do woodwork like this, Giesmann continues to teach others about his special technique.
I want to try to whet a lot of other people's appetites for ornamental elliptical turning so that it can be carried on as a nice craft.
His wife, Dorothy, is one of his biggest fans.
It's just that I like it. I think it's so pretty. And the way he scalloped it and the grain in it, I think so pretty.
As for what Dorothy does in her spare time...
They asked me one time what I did for my hobby, and I told my hobby was sweeping up sawdust.
Foster, keep up the good work. You've got the right stuff. Now, Giesmann has won many ribbons and taken first place at various art shows. Again, his first commitment is to showing others how the work is done so the tradition can be carried on for future generations to enjoy some beautiful pieces that he does, and he really enjoys it.
Oh, they are. They're gorgeous. He certainly has it covered on both sides,
You got that
creating
right.
and cleaning up. No problem.
Yeah.
All right.